Columbus Utility Commission meeting to order. Mic on. We're going to call the Utility Commission meeting to order. This meeting was properly noticed as per statutes. Do we have any discussion or a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
I'll motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Thank you, Laura. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mike. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Same sign. Motion passes. And it appears we have no citizen comments. Next on our agenda is the consent agenda. Is there any discussion or a motion on the consent agenda? Does everybody need a minute to read through the consent agenda?
I can't really approve the minutes because I wasn't here.
That's okay.
No, I said I can't approve.
I know, I
that
said that's okay.
I'll move to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you, Laura. Do we have a second?
If Mike is up for it, I prefer he does, because I wasn't here either last week.
Neither was Mike.
Oh, okay.
Sarah, can you?
I'll second.
I can I? Yeah, I will second the motion. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Did we need a roll call on that since that's financial disbursements too?
We should do a roll call on that with the disbursements, yes.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second. Hammer,
Aye.
Motive,
Aye.
Andler,
Aye.
Rule, oh, not here, Tom,
Aye.
Beckman.
Aye.
That carries.
Thank you. Next, we move to new business, and the first thing on the agenda is the wastewater treatment plant sand filter media edition. And Katie will tell us about that.
She wants to be out here by 7 o'clock apparently.
Good evening. About 2 weeks ago, we finished the sand filter blasting and coating and painting and blasting project. While the sand filters were down, we went through the sand filters to make sure everything is okay. We found that the media in 3 of the sand filters were, one was a little low, one was almost empty as far as media, and one was partially full. So now we have to put new media in for the sand filters to work properly. One of the sand filters is down. The one that was nearly out of media is completely down. We can't run it until we get media. It's down anyway because we have to fix the influent filter valve. But in order to get this ball rolling, because it causes a bit of a bottleneck with one sand filter down, the other 3 have to pick up, its pace. And so the concern was if we get a lot of rain, it's going to cause a problem, and we don't want to violate the permit. So I went ahead and asked Kyle and Sarah for pre-approval to order the media. We were able to get 2 bids, one from Water Surplus. They gave us a bid of $24,628.23. I also got a bid from Sable Mechanical, and it was $32,568.75. So since we have pre-approval to order the media and do the work, they went ahead and ordered it. We have received the media, 759 cubic feet of it. There's a lot there. And they're planning to come out on Monday with your approval. Any questions?
Does anybody have questions?
I only have questions for my own curiosity.
Sure.
Is the media something that is part of regular maintenance there where you have to replace that? Or does it only happen when you're doing a complete rebuild like this?
Right. I think that it's been a while. I don't know if you know how long it's been since there's been media edition.
I'm not sure, but I guess to answer your question, it is, plants do have to replenish this media because you lose a little bit with time. So I know other wastewater plants in the area, like Hartford, every 6-8 years, they top off their media. So it is normal to lose a little bit, but that one cell that was very, very low, we think that's related to the fact that that influent valve didn't function properly.
Correct. Media has, it's anthracite and it's not just round, it has shape to it. So it will wear down within time. And so its specific gravity will change after time, so you can lose some media. I talked to the gentleman from Sun Prairie, and he said before they got rid of their sand filters, they were very low in their sand filters too. Because we did though, before ordering this, we had Sable Mechanical go down in and we assist them with checking the filters itself to make sure that the actual structure is still sound, that there wasn't a problem with the structure, because we were questioning and troubleshooting where did the media go. And we feel like the structure is still sound. It probably was a valve issue.
Okay. I guess the follow-up to that then, as far as the funding goes, I know there's a lot of replacement funds and things like that for the plant, so I didn't know if that was an item that fell into one of those categories where it's planned maintenance that it comes from, or where specifically the funding is going to come from for this, since it was
Right.
unbudgeted, so to speak.
Well, we budgeted over the amount for the filter project, so we had some leftover funds from that.
Okay.
The rest will probably have to come out of the maintenance account.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions? Okay. Do we have a motion to approve the installation of the media?
There we go. I so move that we take care of the wastewater treatment plant sand filter media edition.
Thank you. Do we have, roll, yeah.
All right, Motive,
Aye.
Andler. Tome,
Aye.
Beckman,
Aye.
Hammer.
Aye.
That carries.
Wonderful. Thank you all. Next, we have an award bid for Meister and Waterloo Lift Station upgrades discussion. And Dave, do you want to fill us in?
Sure. Good evening. So we had the bid opening for this project on March 28th, and we received 2 bids. The bids were higher than the budgeted amount, based on what I gave Kyle. My estimate was $1.28 million, and a low bid was $1,499,750. So we did have an alternate with these bids. I want to explain that. The project does not have to be awarded with the alternate. We put the alternate in to provide some pricing pressure for the prefabricated building supplier. So if the city decides to go forward with Forest Landscaping, which is the low bidder, it's my recommendation not to award that with alternate 1. So it would be awarded without alternate 1. We just did that to keep the one supplier honest, because we couldn't name multiple suppliers for the prefabricated building, and that alternate had to do with constructing a building stick-built in the field. Kyle and Katie asked me to put together some options for the commission to consider. I believe that's in your packets. It was an email I wrote on Tuesday, March 28th. I'll go through those real quick. The first option is to award the project to Forest Landscaping in the amount of $1.499750 million. The advantage of that is the city locks in the best price for the foreseeable future. The city has upgraded lift stations sooner, and the city has a proven contractor. Forest Landscaping has done 2 lift stations for the city. They did the James Street lift station and the TID 4 lift station years ago. Both were successful projects. The disadvantage of that option is there's a small chance the commission may be paying more than they should. The other option is to rebid the project and wait until late fall or winter. The advantage is the prices could be lower. The economy could be slowing down. The disadvantage is that prices could be even higher. Labor shortages, I don't see that going away soon. And in general, material prices increase with time. There would be additional engineering costs to go through the bidding process again, and you may end up with a low bidder that the city's not familiar with. Another option would be to rebid the project very soon and to do one project now and to rebid the other project in 2024 and split the 2 projects up. The advantages of that are lower initial costs. Disadvantages would be higher overall total cost because we lose the efficiencies of one mobilization for the contractor. Like there would be additional engineering costs for bidding a second time. So we thought about these, and it's my recommendation. I wrote a letter, recommendation of award letter dated April 10th to award the project to Forest Landscaping and get the process started. I do want to mention we received 2 bids. It's typical that the number of bidders for a facilities project is fewer than a utilities project. So on the street project, I think you had 6 or 7 bids a few months ago. I was hoping to have one more. During the bidding process, I was contacting different contractors, trying to generate interest to get you more bids, and for whatever reason, we just ended up with 2. There were, I think 4 or 5 general contractors that took out plan sets and looked through the project, but for whatever reason, only 2 of them submitted a bid.
Do we have any questions?
I think you probably had to build a lot of assumptions into what your target was for, it was about $200,000 less than this. Is that just trying to keep that cost in line with what we've seen previously with rebuilds for the lift stations? What do you think the main factor is here in getting the higher bids? Is it the cost of things right now due to the economy or the lack of bids?
I think the largest factor is the cost for the building was a little bit higher than I anticipated.
Okay.
And that has gone up significantly the last year and a half.
Okay. So it's probably not that far out of line of what your expectations were. I mean, there's a lot of costs that are just out of line, you know, when you go back
Right.
5 years or even 3 years.
And these
so.
2 buildings, there's a lot of steel, and steel prices are still very elevated. They've come down a little bit the last few months, but they're still very high compared to 3-4 years ago.
Yeah. As far as the funding, Kyle, for this, was this planned?
Yeah, so that's actually, there's some good news. Last year, we came off of a really unusual bidding project. We had the CDBG project, and we had planned to do a lot of work with it. And when the bids came back, it was, double what we expected. So he told me, 1.2 some, and I put in 1.4. Because I was thinking the bids were going to be potentially a little wacky. So we planned for 1.4, and that even came up short. So the good news is we're only $99,000 off, but there are funds in the reserves dedicated to, repair and replacement of lift stations that we put money away in the long run. So we can definitely tap into some of that, but it wasn't necessarily in our bonds that we took out. We were anticipating a smaller project at 1.4, but there is room to accommodate this extra cost. So, that's the good news. We did kind of go back and forth, and I just don't see waiting this one out. I'm not certain that that's going to serve us better. I want it to be the case, but I'm just not sure waiting is going to work in this case.
I
That's
agree
what
with
I'm
that.
feeling as well. I think things are uncertain right now.
Yeah.
And there's just the cost of opportunity, I guess, that you miss out on if you want to wait. And it could be worse next year or 6 months. So
I agree.
I'd be in favor of moving forward with the 1.499.
Great. Joe?
No, I agree.
Okay.
Fully with what Mike had just said.
Laura?
Just
Okay.
one extra thing. There was a request also, and I'm not sure if this is the engineering request, but for a 10% buffer for overages and change orders and things like that. So I believe the actual request, just using round numbers, would be 1.65.
Was it 10 or was it 20%? I thought I read 20. Okay.
We recommend a 10% contingency,
Okay,
and that's not for engineering. That is for change orders, the vast majority of projects are in the neighborhood of 2-3%, not 10.
okay. Okay, we need to do a roll call then.
I'll make a motion to award the bid for the Meister and Waterloo lift station upgrades to Forest Landscaping.
Thank you, Mike. Do we have a second?
I will second that motion.
Thank you, Joe. Now can you do a roll call, Kyle?
All right. Andler. Aye. Tome.
Aye.
Beckman.
Aye.
Hammer.
Aye.
Motive.
Aye.
That carries.
Wonderful. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, David. Next on the agenda is to adjourn to closed session under WSStat 19.851C to consider the employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility, specifically to discuss employee stipend. And it says and personnel code, but we will not be discussing personnel code. Do I have a motion to move to closed session?
I'll make a motion to move to closed session for the reason read.
Thank you, Mike. Do we have-
I'll second.
Thank you, Laura. All those in favor, aye?
Roll call.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Tome.
Aye.
Beckman.
Aye.
Hammer.
Aye.
Motive.
Aye.
Andler. That carries.
Thank you. Katie, thanks for coming tonight.
Yeah, thanks, Katie. You too.
We will reconvene, but we will not be back on the air.